Gotta go. But thanks. On with the show.
Hey, Fellow Mutants, welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about, um, I guess, what could Jenna Ortega play in the MCU if she makes a um comeback. Now, I didn't realize until like relatively recently that Jenna Ortega was in Iron Man 3 as the president's daughter, but she was a little kid at the time, and now that she's like what, and she's in her 20s now. I guess you can have her like look be a different character because like she looks different enough, I guess, where she could play a different character or just play an older version of the president's daughter. I don't know how that would work, but you guys know how much of a fan I am to the Jenna Ortega, and I like huge fan of her. Huge fan of her acting abilities. Huge fan of like some of the things she has said. I have covered some of the things that she has said on this channel before, and she just seems more like mature and poised, I guess you could say, than a lot of people in Hollywood. But anyways, let's see what this is going to talk about. Jenna Ortega is one of the biggest rising stars in Hollywood, and fans are determined for her to appear in the MCU. But considering her previous MCU appearance, it could be easier to set up. Ortega might have blown up in terms of fame since her appearance in Netflix's Wednesday, but the young star has been acting for years. In fact, her feature film debut was actually a small part in the MCU, where Jenna Ortega played the daughter of the Vice President in Iron Man 3. At the time, Ortega was given a non-speakable role, but was pivotal nonetheless, as she played a girl who had lost one leg, indicating that the Vice President wanted extremists to work in order to grow his daughter a new leg. Now that Jenna Ortega is all grown up and she's a rising and her star is rising, fans are calling out for her to appear in the MCU. It's time to think about how and where she could be brought in. Fortunately, the MCU has experience bringing back actors to play larger parts than initially expected. Yeah, this is her in Iron Man 3. Um, Ortega's character in Iron Man 3 didn't have their name revealed. Instead, she simply played a daughter to Vice President Rodriguez, which leaves her character wide open to being brought back. Of course, whether Marvel Studios could write into the story that she received a dose of the extremist compound and grew a new leg, or some other story to alter Ortega's character from the initial appearance would need to be worked out. But if they did bring her back as the same character, Marvel could Marvel has a potential superhero whose last name is Rodriguez ready to join the MCU. Elena Rodriguez, aka Yo-Yo Rodriguez, or Slingshot, is a character who has the power to move at incredible speed, and she is are always forced to return to where she started when she finishes her movements. The character is traditionally the daughter of a criminal by the name John Horton, but it's possible that the MCU could change that history, or have the character be adapted by the VP, or she could be another character with an another origin story. So Jenna Ortega could Marvel could cast Jenna Ortega in a new role in the MCU. For most fans of Ortega, the most frequent fan cast of her to play is the White Tiger, aka Ava Avila. White Tiger is set to join the cast of Daredevil Born Again in 2025, although it's the male version of the character that's set to appear. However, that would not stop Ortega from playing the female version, who is often depicted as the daughter or sister of the original White Tiger. Otherwise, there are a wide range of other characters that Ortega could play in the MCU, including Mockingbird, Polarized, Moonstone, and many more that have yet to appear in the MCU. Marvel Comics has a rich history going back to the late 1930s, and in that time they have introduced thousands of characters, which with so much variety and history. Jenna Ortega could be brought into the MCU as potentially any project, though her stardom probably means she would land a more meaningful reoccurring role. So I guess why the MCU needs to bring Jenna Ortega back to the MCU. Aside from Ortega's viral popularity, she's also an actress who considers the roles she's played seriously. In recent interviews on the press tour for Beetlejuice, Ortega was asked about if she would consider playing a gender flipped version of Edward Scissorhand, and to which she responded, "I don't like it when it's like a spin-off. I don't want to see like a Jamie Bond, you know. I want to see another badass." Which is one reason why I respect Jenna Ortega so much, by the way. This clearly shows that Jenna Ortega respects the roles as they were intended and doesn't see the need to change characters just for an agenda. Ortega is not only a talented actress, but one who has been vocal and passionate about the role she plays. She excels in playing strong female leads, but prefers original characters or those that are intended to be female in the first place. If Jenna Ortega were to return to the MCU, she would be capable of finding the right balance for stepping into the strong female role in a similar way how Florence Pugh had tackled playing the role of Yolanda Belova, and this could be great as long as they cast her in the right role. And I agree. I didn't really realize that um like they um never technically name dropped her and Iron Man 3, like her first name. So I guess they can like they're right. She could be like practically any character she wants per se. Or just be like a new character all in itself. Because there are people who like look a lot like each other. Especially when they were kids. Like for example, my sister looked a lot like Raven Simone as a kid, and then as she got older, and of course Raven Simone got older because they're close to the same age. You can tell that they're two different people. Or like Dean Thomas and Harry Potter in the first, I want to say two films, maybe three of Harry Potter. The character of Dean Thomas looked a lot like my brother. Like you could pretty much play off that they were twins in the first three films of Harry Potter. As the movies progressed, like through number four through like the rest, my brother and the actor who played Dean Thomas looked like two separate people. So like, my point is by bringing those two concepts up, relating it to me personally with my brother and sister, essentially, you could play it off where like, yeah, Jenna Ortega kind of new character kind of resembled the president's vice president's daughter, but as a new character in a way, if that makes sense. I don't know, but of course, I will be up for Jenna Ortega to be playing any role in the MCU because she is one talented actress, and I do think uh this was her last movie, Beetlejuice. I do think she has the acting chops to do it, and she is definitely like I do see what they mean by she takes every single one of her roles seriously. And like I said, she has something that I feel like a lot of the actors nowadays don't have, and that's poise, self-respect, um, maturity. Because I don't feel like a lot of these actors nowadays has the maturity to like know where they should essentially stop at, or is that self-control, where they should like stop in terms of like having their personal lives being the public eye nowadays. But Jenna Ortega is like one of those rare gems, and I appreciate that, and I respect that, and I especially respect the fact that she doesn't want uh the sloppy seconds of guys roles. I don't mean that to be insulting to guys or females. I'm just saying, I hypothetically, if I was in the acting role, right? And if someone asked me, "Hey Phil, do you want to be?" We know you're a huge fan of the Ninja Turtles. Do you want to be the male version of April O'Neil? Um, do you want to be called? Do you want to play Alex O'Neil, which is our male version of April O'Neil? I would say no too. And I respect that Jenna Ortega doesn't want to play a role that was intended for males that gets flipped to females, especially for an agenda. And that's one of the reasons why I respect her so much. That and she takes her acting career seriously too. And she is based, she is level, and I respect the living crap out of her for that. Anywho, what do you fellow mutants think about this? Let me know in the comment section down below. Love y'all. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will catch you fellow mutants later. Later, taters.